regime. Our party cannot and will never compromise with President Weah and any leader that ignores the needs and concerns of the citizens at any time. We believe that continuous, peaceful, and direct non-violent actions by citizens can be prevented only if those in authority swallow their pride and position themselves to address the critical and unavoidable governance issues that have been raised since 2018. That is why our standard bearer and political leader earlier urged the government of Liberia to respect the rights of citizens to freely and peacefully assemble at their own choosing. The Unity Party believes that the inalienable rights and freedom guaranteed to citizens by the Constitution of Liberia are not a gift from any government. Instead, these are, as former U.S. President George W. Bush has said, and I quote, God's gift to humanity. People should be allowed to enjoy these basic rights without hindrance. That is why we salute the thousands of our people, the members, supporters, sympathizers, and friends who always respond positively whenever we call during times of national emergencies and rising tensions. On 30th December 2019, you demonstrated total allegiance and loyalty to the Unity Party and to Liberia when you heeded to our call not to venture out of your communities amid the growing uncertainties about a protest that should have taken place on that day, vis-a-vis appeals from the international community for that protest to be called off. Today, even though the quote step-down label of the December 30th, 2019 protest appears to have been removed, at least officially, it is yet unclear how long the rescheduled protest will last. In fact, we do not as yet know to what extent the already suffering and dispossessed masses of our people can endure any endless standoff. Also, we do not believe that it is enough to officially remove the initial quote step-down label, which from all indications seem to have been the real motivation for this new protest. The Unity Party cannot and will not contradict itself, at least not because we are in opposition. Throughout our 12 years of national stewardship, we opposed protests planned to have been held under any step-down banner. The concern then, and still is, was that any such move would have wrecked the recovery efforts and thereby further polarize an already deeply divided country. It would therefore be hypocritical on our part, having previously detested, resisted, and opposed calls from the CDC and its allies for President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to step down, to be seen as condoning and or supporting calls for President Weah to step down. Under the circumstances, and since we have doubts about what will unfold beginning January 6, 2020, despite the step-down label having been officially changed, we are constrained to urge our members, supporters, sympathizers, and friends, and citizens of Liberia to be cautious about Monday, January 6, 2020, and not allow our party to be drawn into any standoff that could have dire and adverse consequences. The most prudent thing to do, therefore, is to avoid the streets and monitor unfolding events from our homes. Just as the opposition dealt a decisive blow to the CDC in last year's Montserrado County senatorial by-election, we can finalize the draft framework of the CPP, buckle up, and prepare to defeat the CDC again in October this year. The call for you to avoid the streets on Monday, January 6, 2020 should not in any way be construed as a sign of weakness. Even staying home on tomorrow, as you did on 30th December 2019, is a protest in itself. Please, let us not give George Weah and his CDC any excuse or scapegoat, since they are already failing. Let them fail on their own terms and
a press statement. So we want to invite you to this podium as we provide a clarity to such a statement. Unity Party National Youth Congress, Unity Party National Headquarters, ODS Concord Town, Monrovia, Liberia. Unity Party press release, January 5th, 2020. The National Executive, National Coordinating Committees of the Unity Party and party faithful stay affirm and supports as declared by its standard bearer, Its Excellency Ambassador Joseph Nyoma Boaka, any peaceful gathering of any group of Liberians as provided for by the Constitutional Library. The Unity Party encourages Liberians from all walks of life to help ensure the fulfillment of the country's constitution, including but not limited to the station of peaceful assemblies. The Unity Party also appreciates the Ministry of Justice commitment to adhere to those basic democratic principles and provide security for any and all Liberians who desire to assemble peacefully. In furtherance, the National Youth Congress encourages all Liberians and is in solidarity with all Liberians who have gone through the last 2 years mild suffering by the CDC-led government under the stewardship of the footballing president. In doing so, we encourage Liberians to exercise their democratic franchise by coming out to protest on what they believe is in contradiction of the type of leadership the presidents provide to our people. In doing so, we also encourage those who are coming out to protest on tomorrow to do so in conformity with our law and in guise of the constitution of our country. Knowing fully well that our peace is fragile and our democracy is fragile, they should be able to exercise their rights and responsibilities. As a citizen of our constitution, you are guaranteed by two fundamental principles. One is your right to exercise your democratic franchise. Two is your responsibility to protect the peace and stability of our country. So in exercising the two factors enshrined within our constitution, the National Youth Congress of the Unity Party encourages all Liberians to exercise their rights and their responsibility thereof. Signed, Comrade F. Alfonso Wabede II, Acting National Vice Chair for Youth Affairs.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is James Flomo. I report for Spoon FM and Spoon TV. A few hours ago, we listened to the chairman of the Unity Party calling on partisans to stay away from the protest. That is to stay home while we observe the protest tomorrow. So my question is, the National Youth Congress and the party chairman, who is the high-ranking officer within the party? And with this statement, who are those that approve your statement?
We read out a statement that they endorsed by the National Executive Committee and the National Coordinating Committee of the Unity Party. The National Executive Committee is a body that acts on behalf of the Unity Party in outside of the convention. So in our constitution, the convention is so most authority of our party. Next to the convention is the National Executive Committee. So it's in response that we, on the National Vice Chair for Youth Affairs, we are responding in support of the National Executive Committee of our party. So this statement is endorsed by the National Executive Committee of our party.
My name is Godfrey Badu from KMTV. Are you trying to say the chairman's statement today was not in conformity with the authorities of your party?
We provided clarity and we are telling that the National Executive Committee endorsed the position just read out, that we encourage all Liberians to exercise their constitutional rights under our law.
Again, was the party chairman's statement not approved by the executive?
What we're saying to you, the National Executive Committee has approved this statement, and we are very clear. We're encouraging our people. We are in solidarity of the suffering masses of our people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.